Yes.
It is
Okay, okay, that's cool. Okay, well, thank you guys for coming. Everybody's kind of familiar with Kahoot. Yes, have you played Kahoots? Is there anybody who's not played a Kahoot? So that's great, because what I'm going to show you today are some deeper uses. We're going to focus on ESL students, but what we're going to show you, you're going to find is very impactful for any student. So this is what my account looks like. I created a Kahoot for you guys just to play with me real quick so that I could talk through it. So I'm going to go to my Kahoot right here, and it would be great if you guys would play this Kahoot with me so that I can show you some things. So if you have a device, go ahead and log into, here's the pin. This video, you can drop a YouTube video, any YouTube video as your background, you know, while people are signing in. So this is a YouTube video that we found of one of my students, their actual refugee camp where she came from, and she spent about 10 years in this camp before she came. One of the most inspiring things about the students that I have are many have interrupted or minimal formal education, but we are ramping up reading and writing and speaking so quickly. So I'm very inspired, and I want to stay with this demographic of students, because if we can teach them on grade level and ramp up their language skills very quickly, then the implications for every ESL student is, I mean, it's just profound, right? Or any student. So I really appreciate Kahoot, because I get engagement of the students, and you're going to see how I capitalize on that for ESL strategies. I've got pretty much everybody. Anybody need more time to log in? Okay. You need one more second? Okay, I'll give you one more second. And you can probably log in at any time. I'm pretty sure the pin is going to be at the bottom. If it's not, you can set it up to be at the bottom. My kiddos get kicked out all the time, and we just, you know what, that's technology. Get right back in, play with a friend. Everybody's fine with it. Okay? All right, here we go. I'm all turned around. There we are. Okay. So it's just about 7 questions. We're just going to play a couple first, and then I'm going to kind of explain what I'm doing differently. Students must blank to internalize. Students must listen most of the time to internalize, do homework, cheat, verbalize. Right. This is a concept for second language acquisition that's very basic. I need to stop talking. My students need to be the ones talking from time to time for them to internalize content. So here's something, I'm going to show how I start doing that. But based on that question, what do you think the answer to this question is? Marzano, who's a guru of academic vocabulary, he tells us that something boosts achievement by 19%. What do you think it would be? Great. So based on that first question, students need to verbalize to internalize. It led you to my next question, right? So what I'm doing here that's a little bit different than just reviewing with Kahoot is I'm teaching through a Kahoot. I love reviewing with Kahoot because we have to review our content, so why not do it with Kahoot? Like only 6 countries in the world didn't do that last year. So definitely keep doing that. But this is an interactive presentation now. I can introduce new content with it, which is basically what I'm doing with you guys, right? And so if I'm thoughtful about my questions, I can start teaching that way. It's called Blind Kahoots, and you can go to getkahoot.com, and there's templates for you to create your own blind Kahoots. So that's the first thing that I would say, is think about teaching with this. We can always play it again at the end of class and see how much they picked up. But I don't want to waste this engagement. Why would I wait to the end to use this interactive tool? Here's another thing that I do with my language learners. This is huge for ESL students. They have to feel comfortable producing the target language. as soon as possible. So if I already have engagement, before we go to the next question, what I'm going to do is say, okay, everybody, we're going to read this on 2. It sounds like this. Marzano tells us that student discussions equal a 19-point percentile gain in achievement. And then I say, everybody on 2. 1, 2. Marzano tells us that that's right. And I have no problem with my students chorally reading that. Reading in unison for kiddos, older students who are gaining literacy is huge, because if they understand the metacognitive strategies of this, they understand that if they follow the print with me, they're gaining phonemic awareness, they're gaining sight words, they're gaining practice saying those words, which is what we want. We want authentic conversations, and those happen sooner when we practice the words together. My regular students benefit from this because nobody says circumference of circles just easily. They need the language practice too. So we definitely choral read before we go on. Okay, here's another sheltered strategy that I use. The Earth is the what planet from the sun? What do you guys think? Okay, so the Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. Here's when I told you you can teach through a Kahoot. 2 things for ESL students, really for any students, but critical for our ESL students. I need to make my content comprehensible to the students. They have to understand what I'm teaching. The second thing is they need to be able to give it back to me so that I understand and develop their academic vocabulary. Those 2 things, those are the